Hey, glad you made it. Today is my birthday, but I'm alone at camp. I don't know where everybody is. Now that we've learned about the emotion of surprise and when it is we feel it, why don't we learn about people's facial expressions that give us clues and help us understand that a person is surprised? There are three main facial clues that show that a person is surprised, and they are pretty easy to identify. Are you ready? This is John, the professor's grandson. He left the chocolate he got from the professor on the kitchen table, and when he came back, he found it missing. That's the reason he was so surprised. The first sign we can see on John's face is in his eyebrows. Can you see how they are raised up, creating a rounded shape? His rounded eyebrows look like rainbows. The second sign we can see are John's eyes. Notice how they are wide open? They look like footballs. The third sign we can find in the area of John's mouth. It is wide open and also rounded. It looks like a wide open tunnel. Now let's try and identify a surprised facial expression together. Choose the person whose eyes and eyebrow shape indicated surprise. Remember to look for the signs we saw earlier. That's not how a person's eyes and eyebrows look when he or she is surprised. That's right. That's how a person's eyes and eyebrows look when he or she is surprised. Choose the person whose mouth is rounded in surprise. That's correct. That's how a person's mouth looks when he or she is surprised. That's great! I can tell you have a sharp eye. That's important when you're a researcher. Let's look at a different example of someone who feels surprised. Take a look at Michael. Look at his facial expression when he is surprised. Notice his eyes and his mouth. Can you see how, even though it's a little different than what we saw earlier, Michael still looks surprised? So what's the difference, you ask? The signs in his facial expression are similar, but less prominent. His eyebrows are still rounded, but less than before. His eyes are still wide open, but again, less than before. His mouth is still open and rounded, but it doesn't really remind me of a tunnel anymore. Though it's a bit different than what we saw earlier with John, Michael's facial expression is still one of surprise. Let's check if we know how to differentiate between the surprised facial expressions we saw. In both pictures, Michael looks surprised. Choose the picture in which he looks less surprised. Absolutely! In both pictures, we can see people who appear surprised. Choose the picture that shows the person who is more surprised. The answer you chose was incorrect. Absolutely. Choose the picture that shows the person who is more surprised. Absolutely. We've seen that people can be surprised on different levels. I wonder how the professor looks when he's surprised. Do you think he forgot my birthday? That's really surprising.